You are listening to One Happy Podcast, episode 57C. And this episode is being brought to you by Jay's Car Rental Aruba. Bon dia, and welcome to One Happy Podcast, the officially unofficial podcast of the island of Aruba. As always, I'm your host, Curtis Robinson, a.k.a. Aruba Kurt.
And this is Maggie.
That's my sidekick, Maggie, who's not feeling so good right now because she just got stung by something on Eagle Beach. It's like a bee or something.
Yeah, I guess it was a bee. It hurt really bad, though.
Yeah, I felt bad for her, but there was nothing that I could do. We just got in the water, and I was hoping that would help. It didn't really help that much, but as they say, time heals all wounds, and now she seems to be feeling a little bit better.
I'll survive.
Yes. Besides, that probably pales in comparison to the sadness of leaving this beautiful island.
Definitely.
Our trip is winding down, so this is going to be the last recap from this trip, and then we're going to do a wrap-up episode when we get home. So look forward to that. So the last time we left you, we were talking about, I mentioned how Sunday morning I was planning on climbing Mount Hooiberg.
He succeeded.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I had no idea what to really expect. I guess I kind of knew how high it was, but it didn't really hit me until I was standing at the bottom and looking at all those stairs. So Sunday morning, we decided that we would attempt to climb it. So we drove down there early in the morning, somewhere around 9 o'clock.
Yeah. When we got out to head up the steps, there was a lady got out of her Jeep. She said, "Oh, would you like me to take your picture?" She was waiting at the bottom while her family climbed to the top.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "No, I can do this." So I headed up the steps with you.
Right. And we did the first 100 steps with no problem.
There's problems right away, man. I just couldn't breathe.
I think it was like a panic attack or something. You're probably just thinking too much about the last 100 steps and not the 100 before you.
Yeah.
So
that'll be my excuse.
There was a little rest area right around there, about the
right.
100, 120
Very
mark off to the
picturesque.
side.
I got a lot of nice pictures there.
There's a lot of shade there, so I left her there and continued on by myself.
Mm-hmm. I got to watch all the other people coming and going.
Right, yeah. I mean, you know, it was definitely physical. I don't think it was horrible. There were times where I was like, why am I doing this? I'm on vacation. But for the most part, it wasn't that bad. I would stop periodically because the stairs are kind of narrow, and there's people coming down as you're going up. So sometimes I don't know, it's just a little weird to be in that close physical space with other people that are coming down and you're going up.
As you're climbing up the side of a steep mountain, you know.
Right. So I would just step over to the side, and that was also an excuse for me to rest for a couple seconds as they went past. Like the first people I encountered was a man and his daughter. She was probably about 12 years old. And they were holding hands, you know, side by side. So in order for me to continue to go up as they were coming down, they would have had to go single file, and that would have just been selfish on my part. So I stepped over to the side and let him walk down the steps with his daughter side by side. Gave me a couple seconds to rest, which was cool, and then I continued on up the Hooiberg, and that happened a couple other times where I'd step off to the side and let people pass. The last probably 100 steps were the worst. Because I didn't know that I was near the top. I didn't see any more markings. There were always markings like every 100 steps. You know, you're at 100, 200, 300.
Yeah.
But I didn't recall seeing 400. So I had no idea where I was. And I didn't know if what I thought was the top of the hill was actually the top of the hill, and I hadn't seen anybody for a while. So that was, I don't know, I was having second thoughts there. Plus I had eaten at the taco truck the night before. And that's probably, and we were up till like 2 in the morning. So yeah, I wasn't my best self for that climb.
So, did you stop every once in a while and look down?
Yeah. Occasionally I would just like stop and turn around and look down. Well, there was a guy coming up behind me, and he looked like he was moving pretty fast, but then I wouldn't see him for a while. So whenever I would stop and turn around, every now and again I would see him finally coming into my vision. So I would go up a little bit further so that he wouldn't like gain on me and pass me. So yeah, I did turn around and checked it out on the way up. Now whenever I got to the top, there was a family up there. There was probably about 5 or 6 of them. And they had done the climb a couple of times on previous trips. But they were coming back down, so I stepped to the side and let them go up or go down. And they told me that if I go around the little building that's at the top, there's like a trail where you can go a little bit higher. And I wasn't sure if I wanted to do that because I was just like, I don't know, I was kind of over it at that point. But I figured, hey, I had already spent all that time doing it, so I decided that I might as well. And it was, it was worth it. It was a beautiful view. You could see a huge portion of the island.
Did you say you got some good pictures up there?
I got some decent pictures. I mean, I didn't have my real camera with me. I had my GoPro with me and my cell phone, so I did take some pictures. None that I would say were spectacular, but you can definitely see what the view looks like from up there. And I rested for a little while at the top, and then I decided to come back down. Now going up probably took maybe 15 minutes going up. I stayed at the top for a while because I wanted to catch my breath. The way down only took maybe like 5 minutes though. I mean, I was moving at a pretty good pace going downhill, which actually wasn't that much easier. You think it would be, but it wasn't because now I'm trying to go down fast, but at the same time I have to stay in control because, you don't want to fall down 588 concrete stairs.
Yeah, that might hurt a little.
Yeah, so I mean you have to stay in control, and it just takes a lot more energy to stay in control rather than just go down full out. Whenever I got back down to the bottom, you were there waiting.
Well, at the last 100 steps.
The last 100 steps, yeah.
Patiently waiting.
Yes. So that was cool, especially because I left the water with you.
Yes.
So it was nice to get a little bit of refreshing, lukewarm water because by then it had warmed up. And then after the Hooiberg, we decided to go to Palm Beach.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Did we stop at Don Pistacchi's that day?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, we stopped at Don Pistacchi the day before.
Oh. Okay.
On this day, well, you had leftover taco truck stuff.
Oh,
and that's what you had for
yeah.
lunch.
I remember that.
And I went to the Sunday barbecue at the new Wai Tai.
We went to Palm Beach and hung out there for a while.
Right, and we also checked out the high winds because it was the last day.
Yeah.
So we went up to Armando's Kite Shack up in that area, and we checked out the high winds. They were doing some type of distance race, the kite surfers. So that was pretty cool to see so many kite surfers in the water at one time. Some of them were doing tricks. That was always
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
It's
always fun to watch.
I'm not sure if I got any really good shots of people doing tricks.
No.
I won't know until I get back home and actually get a chance to look at those photos, which who knows when that'll be, being that I go right back to work as soon as I get home. So, yeah, we hung out at Palm for a while, and that was nice, especially after climbing up there. Nice and refreshing. I took a long nap. I do remember that.
Yeah.
I took a long nap
You
on the beach. I conked out for like an hour straight. I love taking beach naps, but I don't usually sleep for that long of a stretch at one time. After Palm, that's when we went to get the Sunday barbecue. And, a couple people have said, go to the new Wai Tai. Valen was one of them, who's been on the show before. He'll be on the show again soon. He'll be coming out to Aruba in just a couple of months. But he told me about it. He said that you get, enough food for 2 people, and you'll still have leftovers for the next day.
Do you still have leftovers?
Yes, because I made the mistake of buying 2.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so, but I knew you wouldn't eat it because you are really picky about most things.
Yeah.
Like, you'll only eat, like, boneless chicken breasts.
Yeah,
so,
and it can only be the white meat.
Right, so this just wasn't for you. But, I mean, the food was really good. Portions were ginormous. So if you're trying to save money in Aruba and you're there on a Sunday, if you go there for the Sunday barbecue, then that's a good way to stretch your dollar. It's enough food for the whole day.
Yeah, well, you could have it for 2 lunches.
Yeah, definitely, easily. So we got that food. We went back to our place. You had leftovers.
I had my
from
leftover tacos.
Right, and I ate that.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterwards, we went to Eagle Beach, where we are right now.
Yeah.
Because we love Eagle Beach. And we brought a bunch of beers with us.
Yes.
Because we wanted to catch a sunset. And, we hung out on
When we got here, we found out the Eagle Beach food truck was actually open on Sunday.
Right, which sucks because that is our favorite lunch spot.
Yes.
But I'm glad I went to the Sunday barbecue
Yeah.
because it was also really good. Actually, if you could transplant that Sunday barbecue to the spot where the Eagle Beach food truck is, they would probably have some competition.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was that good. And really plentiful, too. So, the Eagle Beach food truck is the same thing. It's a lot of food for very little money, and that Sunday barbecue was a lot of food for very little money.
Yeah. You had the grouper today at the Eagle Beach food truck. How did that compare to their chicken?
Yeah, well, I usually get the chicken. Sometimes I get the chicken and pork. I don't usually get the steak, but this was the first time I got the grouper. It's fried grouper, a filet. It was pretty good.
Chicken or grouper?
I think the chicken is still my top choice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and make sure you get the Criollo sauce on it.
Yes.
Because that just kicks it up a notch.
Mm-hmm. All over your French fries.
Yeah, on the fries, on the chicken, the rice.
So,
I didn't care for the pasta salad today. Mine had some weird hammy substance in it.
Yes.
But it was chewy, so it just wasn't my thing.
Very windy here today.
Yeah. That's Aruba for you. That's Eagle Beach for you.
Yep. There's a Carnival cruise ship in town, so
Mm-hmm.
there are a lot of people on the beach this afternoon.
Yeah, it's like a busload of people. A couple of busloads of people got dumped off
Still
here.
coming and going. They're picking up people now.
Yeah. It's a lot less people than there were even a half hour ago.
Yeah.
But still quite a few. So I'm assuming that's going to be the norm here. The bathrooms that they're building. Now, we're across from La Vente and Chalet Suisse.
Yeah.
So the bathrooms they're building they're moving along.
Yeah.
They just finished up the roofing, the roof top of it. I'm not sure whenever it's set to be open. Try and turn around and look. I'm not sure when it's set to be open, but that'll be great for cruise ship passengers. Although us visitors probably will utilize it, but if I had my choice, I would rather not have the cruise ship passengers here and not have the bathroom. Yeah, to me, it's just not worth it because the amount that they dumped here was quite a bit today.
Yeah.
What you say? It was probably at least 2 busloads.
There might have been 3.
Might have been 3
or more.
busloads. Yeah, so you're talking about maybe 100 people getting dumped.
Yeah. The school bus has come through. This, I think, is the 3rd time.
Okay.
Dropping people off and picking people up.
Right. And, we've been on a lot of cruises, so that's how it goes. They'll call it the Eagle Beach Beach Break or something like that. And they'll, for $20, they'll shuttle a bunch of people over and dump them off and just run buses to pick them up later on in the day. So get used to that if you're an Eagle Beach person. Now, this is pretty much like no man's land where we go. It's not directly in front of any timeshare properties or hotels or anything.
Yeah, well, we are right in front of La Vente, so once that's finished.
Yeah, but I don't think I think that's a condo complex, more like Oceania. So that still wouldn't count either. I'm talking about people that buy timeshares. They might be insulated a little bit because they didn't dump people in front of the timeshare properties.
That's true.
They dumped them in the free zone.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to dump this, the free zone. It's absolutely beautiful.
If you're ever down here when we're here and you're looking for us, most likely we'll be sitting on Eagle Beach right in front of Chalet Suisse.
Yes, in close proximity to the Eagle Beach food truck. For dinner, where did we... Well, we watched the sunset. It wasn't as good as it could have been. A little cloudy.
No, yeah, it was a little cloudy that night. We got some pretty pictures, but...
Not what it could have been.
No.
And for dinner, we went to Texas Day Brazil.
Yes, we did. But we got there pretty late.
Mm-hmm.
I don't recommend going to Texas Day Brazil that late. We got there about an hour before they closed, and you can really see a slowdown in the service. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to ask. At a certain point, you have to ask for what you want, almost.
Yeah.
Which I don't mind doing.
Anything we asked for, they came around with.
Right. I don't mind doing that. And that cuts down on the amount of times you have to say no to the leg of lamb guy.
Yeah, that's true. So my favorite thing at Texas Day Brazil is their sangria, We had the red sangria this time.
Which I'm surprised you didn't go for the white. I like the white a little better.
Do you? I like the red.
It was good. It was good, too.
We'll have to go back. I'll try the white again. I can't decide which one I like more.
Yeah. Maybe we'll grab a half pitcher tonight or something.
That sounds like a great idea. Great way to end vacation.
I'm full of great ideas. And it was also National Ice Cream Day in the States.
Yes.
So we decided to pick up some ice cream from
and guess where we got it?
That little McDonald's stand or whatever it is.
Stand. So we get ice cream in Aruba and we get it from McDonald's.
Right. Well, the other place was closed already.
But she didn't do it right because we got the caramel sundae, and everybody knows you put the caramel in, then you put the ice cream on, and then you top it with caramel again. And there was no caramel at the bottom, so there was no incentive to eat all the ice cream because the caramel was gone once you finished the top.
Right. Plus, ice cream doesn't last long in Aruba anyway, so it was more like a soup after a couple of minutes. I'm lactose intolerant anyway, so I shouldn't be fooling around with that
Enough
stuff.
said.
After that, we just went back home and called it a night.
My shoulder hurts.
Uh-oh. Her shoulder still hurts where she got stung. We're going to have to fix that with a little bit of rum or something.
A bunch.
Yeah, a bunch of rum. Some sangria, maybe. We'll get it straightened out. So then on Monday, we woke up and went to Manchego Beach, which was our first time going to Manchego in 2 trips.
Yeah.
We used to spend a lot of time there. For me, it's probably the most beautiful stretch of beach.
It is really beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's a hike, and it's a long hike. We have learned to park a lot closer to the beach because we always go on by the Bakuti. But it doesn't matter how close you park to the sand. The walk across the sand is...
Well, that beach is so wide, man. It's got to be like from the time you hit the sand until you actually... or at a place where you want to put your chair, it's got to be 100 yards.
Doesn't the sand seem even whiter there?
Yeah. Yeah, just everything about it just seems postcard perfect.
Yeah. So there wasn't a lot of area to be able to swim in yesterday. They had it roped so that you could only go out so far.
Right, which was maybe like mid-chest level.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and
that was at the very, like right at the rope.
Yeah, right at the rope. But we still had a good time there. We stayed there for, until like 3:30. So we stayed there for most of the day.
Now, one thing I will say, I mean, the beach is absolutely gorgeous, but it's a very hot beach. Like, there's nothing that even resembles shade in that area. And there's no one renting umbrellas or anything like that. So if you go there, then you either have to be an extreme sun lover or you have to just exercise caution.
Whenever I feel it's getting too hot for me, I just throw my towel over my head.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing how much shade you can get out of just throwing a towel over the top of your head.
Right.
So then we left there, and we headed up to Arashi, but we didn't stay long at Arashi, right?
Well, we stopped off and we got lunch. Yeah, we stopped off and we got lunch.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes we'll eat at Elements.
Yeah.
But we didn't.
Or whose pizza place is it? Bob's?
Or Bob's Pizza, yeah, but we haven't been there in a long time.
But we were going to come and grab lunch at the Eagle Beach food truck to take up to Arashi with us. And this time, they were actually closed.
Yeah, so Sunday they were open and Monday they were closed.
Right. So they were closed the day we didn't expect them to be closed.
So we ended up just grabbing fast food and going up to Arashi Beach.
Yeah.
And we hung out there for a while. We ate our lunch and hung out there for
a little while.
No, not too long. We didn't stay for the sunset or anything.
Yeah, because we decided to do an early dinner.
Right. We were going to go. Normally we eat late, like because we were going to Aruba Ray show again. It was another fantastic show, but we'll get to that in a minute. We were going to grab dinner after the show, which is what we normally would do.
Right.
We decided at the last minute to grab it before the show, so we just ran up off the beach.
Because we wanted to stay at the casino, enjoy our time at the casino, so we figured, well, let's wrap it up at the beach. We'll head to dinner a little early and then catch the show after dinner.
Right. So we went to Tango for dinner, which is one of our favorite restaurants.
One of our favorites.
Yeah. No, I just think that the product that they put out is good. I appreciate someone being able to cook a hunk of meat well. You know, don't disguise it with sauces and things like that. What I want is a well-cooked piece of beef.
Yeah.
And
they don't hide it. They don't hide that beef. I mean, you can get sauces.
You can get sauces, but
there's no sense in getting the sauces because all you're doing is covering up the one.
Right. That's not the default for them, you know? Right. Where a lot of places, well, not a lot, but some places down here that is the default. Once again, dinner was fantastic.
Yes.
Our favorite waiter,
Roger.
Our favorite waiter, Roger, was there. He's always there, I think.
Yeah.
I think he has
working
Wednesdays
the bar
off.
that night, though.
Right. So he was dressed differently. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we didn't see him at first. We didn't see him a lot either.
No.
Nah. But he passed through, he said hi to a lot of people. He seems to have a lot of fans.
Yeah, he does.
Because there's so many people. Hey, Roger. Oh, nice
Yeah.
to see you again, Roger. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you're making an impression
Symbol
on
of great
people.
service, right.
Right. You're becoming part of their vacation experience.
Right.
And there were a couple other newer waiters that I hadn't seen before that were all really nice.
Mm-hmm. Everybody was great.
Uh-huh.
I accidentally knocked my knife on the floor, and there's so many...
I don't think it actually hit the floor.
They caught it on its way down.
I think someone caught it on its way down. Yeah, and took it away before you even realized what had happened.
Right. And
Brought
we
you up
don't
a new
usually
one.
get any drinks there. We usually have water, and for some reason, every time we go there, we drink so much water.
Mm-hmm. I think we always go there after long days on the beach.
Yeah,
Yeah. And Manchego will just dehydrate you.
absolutely. So we had a great time at Tango.
They offered us free dessert, but we had places to go, people
Yeah.
to see. So
Got done just in time to head over to see the show.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So we got over there.
Although they did say we could have the first drink is on them when we come back.
Yeah,
because
I'll make sure they remember that.
Right, and Roger will.
Yeah, he will.
So we got to Aruba Ray's show just in time for it to start. We got there maybe, 10 minutes?
10 minutes early,
prior.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were able to purchase tickets and get the open bar and everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was a great show.
Yeah, it was a great show. It wasn't a large turnout, but it's
No.
kind of fun being part of a smaller group of people.
We were family. It was a fun crowd. Everybody was into it.
Yeah, they really were.
Except for that one group in the back that no one knew.
Nobody knew was there until the end.
But no, everybody else, had a great time. Mike Vecchione had just come down. Honestly, I think he probably just got off the plane maybe an hour or two before being there. And Brian Scott McFadden's been down here for a couple of days now, but they're both fantastic. Two completely different styles.
Yeah.
Mike Vecchione's a lot more like
laid back, soft spoken.
There's pauses
Yes.
in between his
Yeah.
jokes and everything. I think the guy's funny.
I thought he
like
was
his
hilarious.
delivery. I like that kind of delivery sometimes,
Uh-huh.
And then Brian Scott McFadden is the complete opposite, because it's just like joke after joke after joke, and he's laughing, you're laughing, there's participation. He's getting the audience to become part of the performance.
Mm-hmm.
So, two different types of comedians, but both absolutely funny.
Yeah, if you haven't been to one of those shows, you got to check it out. It's the best entertainment on the island by far.
Yeah. And Ray's always Ray, He brings it every single time. Didn't win any prizes.
Yeah, what? There were 50 people there? Tops?
Right. And we still didn't win
And we
anything.
still didn't win anything.
Right. Which is funny because the very first show we ever went to, I won the big prize,
Yeah.
the casino cash or whatever. And since then, we haven't won
Never
anything.
won anything. All Kurt wants is the hat.
Right. Well, I wanted one of those, I call it the colostomy bag.
Yeah. You
what
didn't
is it?
win that.
No.
Somebody gave that to you.
Martha gave it to
Yeah.
me. She gave it to me last time now. But yeah, Aruba Ray's comedy show was great.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, we went to the casino and hung out for a while because we bought the all-you-can-drink package, and we wanted to make sure that we got our money's worth.
We definitely got our money's worth.
Right.
We went to the bar. There was good music playing.
Mhm.
So we just sat there and had some beer and wine and relaxed and enjoyed
talked.
our night.
We talked.
Yeah,
People don't talk anymore.
we do.
Yeah, sometimes too much. But it was fun, hanging out just by the bar, just relaxing.
Right.
Bartenders, they dug us.
Yeah.
We took care of them. Take care of your bartender. Always take
Always
care of your
take care of your
bartenders, your
bartender.
waiters, waitresses. Always take care of those guys. Even if you get an all-you-can-drink package, make sure you take care of them.
We have a family of birdies.
It's the
hanging out
right
with
thing
us
to
now.
do. Those are those
Uh-oh.
birds from the other day that tried to take my food.
And there is a seagull down here with a lame leg.
Yeah, we see them every
he-
other day.
Yeah, he can only use one. It's funny to watch him when he goes to take off. He hops on one leg and then he takes off.
Mm-hmm.
But
Makes
if you
me
see
sad.
him, that's my birdie.
Yeah, makes me sad. So then that brought us to Tuesday, which is today.
Yes, sad
And
day.
we came to Eagle Beach early this morning, and we've been here ever since, just looking at the beautiful scenery, listening to the waves,
And being stung by a bee.
And she got stung by a bee, and I'm trying to not think about the fact that this time tomorrow we will be on a plane on the way back to
You don't
Baltimore.
need to talk about that.
So I won't.
Anyway,
We had lunch at the Eagle Beach food truck.
Because I'm really looking forward to the next thing we do. Let them know what we're up to.
Well, first I'm going to talk about the Eagle Beach food truck because we went there again today.
Okay.
Oh, no, we already talked about that because you mentioned
Yeah.
I got the grouper.
Yeah.
And you got the chicken.
So now we can move on to the more important things, such as Arubian tastes.
Yeah, so we're going to go over to that rum shop and sample their unlimited samples.
Yes. Get some medication for my pain.
Yes. So maybe I'll be able to add that on to the end of this episode, or if not, we'll talk about it during the full recap we do after we get back.
Yes.
And once again, I want to thank Jay's Car Rental Aruba.
The car's been great. I'm going to miss it.
We definitely utilized it. I mean, we didn't explore like we normally do,
No.
but we hopped around quite a bit.
Yeah, we did.
And that wouldn't be possible without a car rental. So
And it was definitely gas conservative, too.
yeah, I think
huge
I've only
difference.
put $20 in the tank so far. I mean, I'll have to put more in before we take it
Yeah.
back. Probably another 20, but still,
Maybe.
for us, I mean, usually we spend over $100 in
Right.
gas.
So it's definitely, it was definitely a savings on gas.
Mhm.
Space-wise for us, it was exactly what we needed. Just, no less than the Jeep had for us.
Yes, sir. Oh, yeah,
Hey.
from Pittsburgh. How's it going?
Grew up in Youngstown, like an hour
Nice,
away.
yeah. Nice to meet you, yeah.
See you, too.
Right now I'm recording a podcast.
Oh, and
Yeah.
I'm interrupting.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You go to Aruba and we find a Steeler fan. I mean,
Yes, sir. We are everywhere.
We are everywhere.
Yeah. So you guys come down here a lot?
no, this is the first time we came on a cruise.
First time? Okay,
Oh,
cool.
you're on the
Well, here,
Carnival cruise ship.
let me ask you something.
Oh, you gonna record me?
How you liking Aruba?
Aruba's beautiful. Absolutely, it's a great time. It's a great place to vacation.
And how about you?
Beautiful, like you said. It's not. It's perfect. It's perfect.
It is. That's why we come here all the time.
Yes. So come on back down sometime. It was nice meeting you.
All right, nice
All right.
to see you guys.
Take care. A couple people were walking past, as you probably heard.
From the cruise ship.
From the cruise ship, yes.
Of course. Okay, so that's the town. So they were all cruise ship people.
Yes.
That's
Carnival
a new
Cruise
town
Towns.
for Carnival. I know we haven't been on a cruise in a long time, but that's not the same towns they used to have.
Right. So anyway, we're rambling now. Let's...
Time to go get some medication.
Yes, and we don't have much time either, so
No.
let's get a move on.
All right.
So our next stop was Arubian Taste.
That was one of the highlights of the trip for me.
Yeah.
I didn't imagine it would be that good, but it was really that good.
Right, yeah. So for those of you not familiar with Arubian Taste, it's a rum shop located over in Orange Plaza. And there they have probably like 100 different types of rums, and you can sample them all.
Yeah, I really didn't know what to expect when I walked in. I hadn't done my research. I just knew it was a rum shop, and I could get free shots. But I was really interested to learn everything that we learned in there.
Yes. The owners, Jerome and Marcia, are absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, Jerome knows so much about rums. It's ridiculous. Like, it will literally blow your mind.
And he is very patient, loves what he does.
Yes, definitely. It comes
and
through.
really goes through in depth. I don't know what he'd do if he had a crowd full of people in there.
Right. Some of those flavors are things that you wouldn't think of, but
I
they're just
know.
so delicious.
Yeah.
Like-
and some that I thought I wouldn't like, I actually liked a lot.
Right.
Like Almond Joy.
I don't
I-
like the candy bar,
Don't like the candy bar either.
but the rum was delicious.
It really was. I was surprised.
We brought some of that home.
He said you could add that to, like your coffee.
Coffee.
Or something.
Mhm.
I could see that tasting really well, even though I don't drink much coffee anymore.
Right. I'm not a coffee drinker, but yeah, I probably would if I put some of that in the coffee. And their homemade Fireball,
Yes,
which tastes better than the Fireball that I buy from the liquor store here.
it does.
He gave it to us, and what did he call it? A Firebomb.
A firebomb, yeah.
Yeah, so it was a shot of their Fireball dropped into a glass of, what was it, apple cider?
Apple cider, yeah.
Yeah, hard cider. Yep. So I brought one of those bottles home too, the Fireball, and I picked up some hard cider from the liquor store today because actually we're recording this part from home because we're home now.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, so that sucks.
You probably hear the sadness in our voices.
Definitely not as enthusiastic as we were when we were sitting on Eagle Beach recording.
Makes you just want to close your eyes and do a little, Samantha from Bewitched. Click, click, and back to Aruba.
I don't know if that was Samantha from Bewitched, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Something like that.
I think she wiggled her nose or something. Click,
well,
click. That's Dorothy from the Wizard
okay.
of
So I took two different people.
Yeah, put them together and made one heck of a story, fan fiction. So after Ruby and Taste, and it's funny because we actually got pretty buzzed there. At least I did.
Yeah.
By the time it was all said and done.
Oh, yeah. And then I got stung by a bee, and he actually gave me a little bit of ointment to put on it to help with the sting.
Yeah.
So I think between that and the shots of rum, I wasn't really hurting when I left there, at least for a little while.
Right. So we had to go back home. It was our last night, our last dinner. And we chose the Zorro for that.
Yes. I had been talking about it all week. You always hear so many good reviews on it.
Mm-hmm.
We had never eaten there. We like Italian food, so we figured we'd give one more Italian place a try.
Right. Which is funny because we normally don't eat Italian on the island.
No, we don't.
But this time you had Italian 3 different times. Terrazza, you had the chicken parma at Ricardo's, and now Azora.
Yes.
And the setting at Azora is absolutely beautiful. It's at the Playa Linda Resort, and we had a table at the balcony, so you looking out into the ocean, and yeah, it was just absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I could go there and just have a drink and just sit there.
Right.
Maybe eat an appetizer just to be there because the environment is so beautiful and peaceful. It's a perfect place to go for your last meal in Aruba.
Our last supper.
Yes.
But the staff was incredible too. We got there kind of late, so I mean, we didn't take full advantage of the view. We weren't there for sunset or anything, which we decided isn't really our thing anymore anyway.
Right. We can see the sunset from our chairs on the beach.
Right, but even at night, it was still beautiful.
Yeah, it is.
So you mentioned having a drink there, maybe a sangria.
Yep. That's what I chose to have. This time I got white sangria.
Mm-hmm.
At Texas Day Brazil earlier in the week, I'd mentioned we had the red sangria.
Right.
And you said you like the white better at Texas Day Brazil. I said I like them both equally.
Mm-hmm.
Azoro's sangria was good.
Yeah, it was.
But it still didn't touch Texas Day Brazil.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite as good as Texas Day Brazil, but I do believe it was good enough to be maybe second place on the list.
Maybe.
Okay. So maybe I liked it a little bit more
But
than
everything is a far second, maybe. You know, I can't really put my fingers on which one would take second
you did.
place.
See, what we have to do next time is we have to get a list of all the places that are in the running for the sangria
A sangria challenge?
and go from place to place.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay. So the next time maybe we'll do that. The food at Azora was really good. I had the veal parmesan and you had the...
Gnocchi.
Yeah. And I really enjoyed mine. You not as much, not because of the taste.
No,
but
they tasted good, but I think you need to have gnocchi as like a side to something else. Like, I don't know, that with a piece of meat, that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But a big whole plate of that is just
it was
too much to
Yeah.
eat.
Yeah, we both probably could have split that.
Yeah.
To be honest.
And that still would have been a lot.
Yeah. No, I love the taste, but yeah, I could see where that would be too much for one person.
Mm-hmm.
And after Zorro, we went back home to pack.
Yeah. Well, I was mostly packed.
Yeah. Yeah, I was partially packed, but I needed to finish up. We had to get all the bottles of rum that we bought at Ruby and Taste into the luggage.
Yes, it was like an extra 12 pounds, I think.
More than
added
that.
To our luggage.
It was quite the task. You
But we
managed
did
to get it all in yours.
Yeah, we got it
Mhm.
all in my luggage. Because mine was pretty light going down.
True.
Not that I travel all that light, but everything I packed just didn't add up to a lot of weight. So
Right.
we were able to fit all the rum in my suit.
So that was all for that night. And then the...
Let me go back to that night. 'Cause
Okay, go ahead.
It's kind of sad. I don't know if other people have that problem, but it's really hard to do things on the last night because you're just so down that it's coming to an end. Maybe if I got to stay there longer, I wouldn't feel the same way. But on that last night, you have plans to make it a really good night. But then when you get out there, your heart's just not in it because it's just sinking because you have to leave. So we planned on going to the casino,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it was kind of like, well, we could make money, we could lose money, we could stay even, or we could just go home and pack. And we chose to go home and pack.
The next morning, we woke up early to go to Arashi because that's what we like to do on the last day. And not everyone gets to take advantage of the beach on their departure day, but being that we always fly out in the late afternoon, it's an option for us, so why not take advantage of it?
This time was a little bit earlier than our usual.
Right. We
flights out.
usually fly at about 4 o'clock. This time was 2:50, I
2:45,
think. Yeah.
But that makes a big difference in your time.
It did. We didn't get to spend as much time at Arashi as we would have liked, but, I mean, there
hours.
wouldn't have been enough time in the day to spend as much.
And, you know, we did that last time, and we swore this time we were going to get up and go to the beach really early in the morning because it's just so peaceful. From, like, I don't know, maybe 8 to 9:30, it's so quiet and peaceful on the beach, at least on Arashi.
Mm-hmm.
And I got there this time, and I'm like, why didn't we do that? We planned on the whole week, but, you know, you're on vacation, and you're like, oh, I'll just sleep a little bit longer. No, you got to make the most of those hours on the beach because it is so beautiful that time of the morning.
Yeah, you do. But at the same time, I didn't want it to be one of those vacations where I'm getting 5 hours of sleep a night. I mean, I do that at home. So
next time what we do is we just pack up our stuff, take a big blanket to the beach, lay down, and fall asleep for a little while.
Yeah, that'll happen. We'll see. But no, Arashi's absolutely beautiful. I did a Facebook Live video from there. So if you follow the One Happy Podcast Facebook page, you probably saw it. If not, then go ahead and follow that. And you'll be able to see it there. So that'd be facebook.com/One Happy Podcast. And you'll be able to see the video I did. It's about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm. You can just feel like you're on Arashi when you watch it.
Yeah, definitely. There were a lot of kids playing soccer. No, actually playing kickball further down the beach by that little temporary village thing that's set up, which I don't know what that is.
They actually seemed like they had a really good time together.
Yeah, they were.
They were all out there playing kickball. Looked like people were cooking.
Mm-hmm.
It was just, you know, a relaxing morning for them. There were a lot of people, too.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Would love to know what that was.
Yeah. I'll look it up a little bit later.
Okay.
And then I will let you know.
So we ended up having to leave the beach and head back to finish up a little bit of packing.
Mm-hmm.
Clear out the fridge of stuff that we left in there that we just didn't eat during the week.
Right. Like the too much Sunday barbecue.
Yes. Never buy extra for me.
No.
My plan was to go to Don Pistacci's before we left because I desperately wanted more of their cheese balls. So I was thinking, on the way to the airport, we're going to stop off there, get some food, and we'll eat that instead of airport food, which makes a lot of sense. But because our flight was so much earlier than what we thought we had, we just didn't really fit the time in to go. And, when I passed that place and didn't have time to stop in, I can't wait to get back.
Right. So, I mean, basically we dropped off the car back at Jay's. It was really easy dropping it off. I mean, we went in there, talked to the guy at the counter, and he just, gave it a quick glance over. Mm-hmm. Saw that the gas was, above where we took it out at. And then he drove us over to the airport.
Yeah, it was easy and quick.
Yeah, it was like
And
a
I love my
60-second
car.
check-in.
Yeah, no problems with the car the whole week. I enjoyed dealing with Jay's.
Seems like we found a new car rental agency of preference.
Yes.
And that was pretty much it. I mean, after that, it was time to check in at the airport. And normally we leave on a Monday.
Right.
And it takes us 20 to 30 minutes from the time we get dropped off at the airport until we're at our gate.
Yes.
This was a Wednesday. And it's much busier on Wednesday. I wouldn't have thought that it would be that much busier.
Busy. Yeah.
But it was a full hour from the time we got dropped off until we were at our gate.
Stand in line everywhere.
Yeah. Normally we don't ever even see another person.
Yeah.
We'll see. Yeah.
A little bit.
Mm-hmm. Very, very little. But this time, no, everything had a queue.
Right.
From what I understand, I guess I'm a little spoiled. thinking that an hour is a long time because for a lot of people, I guess, that's not a long time. But it's just when you're used to just literally walking through everything,
Right.
it just seems like forever.
Yeah.
And once we get to our gate, the airport there needs more food options. That's when you really regret not stopping.
I agree
to
with
get
what you
something.
said. Like after you come through the first check,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of different food options there.
Right.
But you really are working on getting to your gate.
Right.
So once you get through U.S. Customs and all, and you get to your gate, there's not a whole lot of options.
No. It's all crappy food.
Yeah, it's
they
just
need
food
like
that you
a
put in your
legit
stomach
restaurant.
just to have
Right.
something there.
They need a legit restaurant on that side.
Yeah, they should stick a Don Pistachios in there.
Oh, jeez. Anything other than Sparrow, Nathan's, Annie Ann's, and those types of anything other than that would be greatly appreciated. And I think I did another live cast from the Crying Room,
Mm-hmm.
And that was pretty sad. It was kind of funny watching people watching me, wondering what the hell I was doing.
Mm-hmm. And then once we were on the plane, it took a while for us to be able to take off. Remember?
Right. And I had no idea that Southwest was having problems.
No, we did not at that point in time know
Mm-hmm.
that Southwest was having problems. I remember when we finally got back to Baltimore Airport.
Right.
We came off the plane. I was like, wow, I can't believe how many people fly on a Wednesday because all the chairs were full. People were laying on the ground.
Pillows under their heads, sleeping, taking naps.
Yeah. And I thought that was odd, but we never thought any more about it and didn't find out until the next day, what the computer problems with Southwest shut down hundreds of flights.
Right.
I'm like, why not ours?
Right. Why couldn't we get stuck in Aruba for an extra night or two?
Stuck in Aruba would have been great. Perfect. I would love to be able to call work and say, sorry, can't come in. I'm stuck in Aruba.
Right.
And it was right there in the palm of our hands, but they got us home on time, unfortunately.
Yep. Unfortunately. So I guess that's everything from our trip to Aruba.
Well, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed our trip. We did.
Yes, and it was a pleasure bringing you guys along for the ride. You can look for the summary wrap-up episode for this vacation on a later podcast where we're going to go over some of the highlights just in a really organized format. So look for that later on next week. And also, I have an interview with Liliana Gracia coming up early in the week. She was the timeshare manager at the Renaissance. So look forward to that. A lot of you guys know her. You'll really enjoy that one. Had an incredible time talking to her. So once again, I want to thank Jay's Car Rental Aruba for sponsoring these episodes.
I look forward to maybe getting a Jeep from them in the future.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think we need a Jeep for the whole trip. And I want to thank everyone that listened to these episodes and also the people that I met in Aruba. Had a great time talking to each and every one of you.
Yeah, the people on Aruba are so friendly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people complimented you on your T-shirt that you wear.
Yeah, the Peace, Love, and Aruba T-shirt.
Yeah.
I was actually amazed by how many Arubans liked that shirt.
They did. It's probably because they see the same thing all the time, and this one's unique, and it's fun. It's a nice T-shirt.
Yes. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, on the live cast from the Crying Room, at the very end, I said Peace, Love, and Aruba, and I showed my shirt. That's the shirt. You can also check it out at onehappypodcast.com/shop. There you can see the different color options, and they can be ordered there.
And it's not just T-shirts. I have a hoodie. We have a pillow.
Yes.
There's a lot of different options to buy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the hoodie was like a seasonal thing, so I took that down since then. Because
Back
it's
up.
the
Everybody
middle of
loves
summer.
a good hoodie.
It's the middle of summer. Okay, I'll put it up. Whatever.
Check it out.
Yes, I think that's everything that I have to say for this recap.
Okay. Well, it's fun being with you on the trip
Yes, definitely a lot of fun.
and fun being a part of this.
Yes, thank you for being my co-host. So, until next time,
Hit the music.
peace, love, and Aruba.